Well, I found some time on my hands and decided, hey, what's going on with Black Adam? Is that even a legitimate question? I mean, is there any possibility of anything going on? Well, The Rock spoke on December 20th and addressed his fans. He said, "My passionate friends, I wanted to give you a long-awaited Black Adam update regarding the character's future in the new DC universe. James Gunn and I connected. That's nice. And Black Adam will not be in their first chapter of storytelling." I'm guessing maybe this means like DC will refer to chapters rather than phases like Marvel does. So chapter 1, there's no Black Adam in it. But he continues. However, DC and $7, his production company, have agreed to continue exploring the most valuable ways Black Adam can be utilized in future DC Multiverse chapters. See? And that's really, I mean, the rest of it, he goes on and, said, it was a passion project and all that stuff. And it's kind of sad because, he's been pursuing this character for a very long time and it just didn't work out. Movie's got problems, but I had a fun time with it. I think it kind of deserved a little more, but, it's a character most people don't know, and it was an uphill battle all the way around. So it's too bad. The big thing was Henry Cavill back as Superman, and then they took it away. That's, oh boy. Looking back, it'd probably been better if they'd have just, I guess, Amano was right about that one, huh? Who knew? Yeah, who knew? Yeah, that's another story. But anyway, so this multiverse thing is interesting because that's the go-to default position for both of them. Marvel is pursuing it first because, well, they got out there first and are pursuing it, even though DC Comics is the one who really laid the groundwork for multiverse possibilities for their characters. And they just did it to explain what happened to the original version of their Golden Age characters when they rebooted them in the late 50s. And so they did Flash of Two Worlds, and so Jay Garrick and Barry Allen met, and so it's a multiverse, and so they were off to the races after that, and that was the whole DC universe functioning until the late 80s when they did Crisis on Infinite Earths and wiped it out. You had two different versions of Superman actively going on, not in his own title. The Earth 2 Superman, which is odd considering he was the original Superman, but there was a Superman family comic book, and there were these it was an anthology thing, and there were stories of Mr. and Mrs. Superman, which was the original Superman and Lois Lane after having gotten married and working at the Daily Star and all of that. And so you had this ongoing alternate version of Superman in his later years, and I was fine with it. I loved that stuff, but I don't know. They decided it's too complicated. Oh, it's diminishing the brand or some nonsense like that. And so that was that. Marvel pursued multiverse as well, but not quite to the extent that DC did. They do now, but it's like scattered all over the place, and now it is saturated and diminished because they just can't get their act together. Neither company can, for a variety of reasons I'm sure you're all very well aware of. So anyway, now they're bringing it to the movies, and it the obvious thing is that it opens the door for the reboot in the hopes that, hey, maybe we can keep this gravy train running with a new cast down the road, provided you do it in a respectful manner. And what they're not doing it this way. Just sorry, Henry, you're out. If you could have done some kind of send-off for that cast, it would have been easier for them. I doubt that there would be enough time to do it in the Flash movie, but the word is they've cut his scenes in it and some of Gal Gadot's. I mean, leave them in there, and say that could be the goodbye. But whatever. But multiverse. What could be the multiverse? And some theorize that Henry Cavill will come back for some Kingdom Come storyline where he's the older Superman and meets his younger version and all that sort of stuff. Maybe. My guess is more than likely it would be some animated project type thing, and Dwayne would do the voice of Black Adam in that story. Is there any possibility of an Elseworlds project? Well, a fan on Twitter responding to all this stuff between James Gunn and The Rock asked him, "Are you open to producing any Elseworlds TV DC projects that aren't set in the DCU?" Gunn replies, "That is actively happening." So that's yes. So Elseworlds became their go-to title for alternate versions of their characters, which went way beyond the Earth 2 and even Earth 3 aspects of it. And at the time, the Shazam family, Black Adam, and all that, they all lived on their own world when DC had its multiverse in place before they, destroyed it. It merged them all into one world, which they then broke it up again, blah, blah, blah. Never could get it back to the way it was for whatever reason. But Elseworlds was a series where you just had alternate takes of the different superheroes, primarily Batman, but Superman had quite a few, and Wonder Woman had one or two or so in there, I think. And all that stuff. And that was just saying, hey, it's a multiverse, and on another world somewhere, things happen differently. And that's basically the whole premise of it, and they could redo other storylines and all that. And so it's always interesting, but it's a one and done type deal. So my guess is I don't think they would plunge the money into doing a live action Elseworlds, certainly not a film franchise. Even if this new Superman movie is just gangbusters and blows out everything, it is a $2 billion movie. I mean, hopefully, for what they're trying to do, that the sky's the limit. Open the floodgates, and we'll do a side project because they're going to want one Superman carrying this. So something for HBO Max, a series of whatnot. And having the original cast voice those, that's possible and probably even likely. It's just a matter of, are they interested in it, depending on what their situation is, stuff like that. And that's about all there would be, I think. It'd be cool if there was, this live action version of it all, an Elseworlds miniseries that, I don't know, takes on Game of Thrones status. Where it's an ongoing thing, and you go in and out and you visit the different worlds and all that. But I mean, like I said, I would have to DC is just gonna create gold wherever it goes. I don't see that happening. It could be a successful franchise, but the fact that it could afford to do all of that at the risk of saturating their brand, where there's too many Superman, there's too many Batman, and that sort of thing. But cartoons and whatnot, that's more likely there. So, and finally, it appears, yes, they've kissed and made up. So James Gunn says he loves The Rock and always excited to see what he and $7 do next. Can't wait to collaborate soon. So this is kind of the nice send-off he's done for all of them. I mean, certainly like Henry Cavill is a big fan and hopes to find a place for him in the future and work with him and all that sort of stuff. Does that really mean anything? Not really. It could be genuine in that there is some opportunity that they can get back with him on, that there is a door open. But as far as any idea of what to do and that it's Kingdom Come or something like that, probably not. So anyway, yeah, they kissed and made up. The Rock said something nice about him. He said something nice about Rock. So whatever the dust up was, which was, The Rock wanted more power and control over DC property, certainly his own corner of it. But his movie, it would have needed to get that far, to have him have that much say so over things. Black Adam would have had to hit $1 billion, and there was no real chance of that. I think it should have done better than it did, but it didn't. That's and whatever other money it makes elsewhere, fine, but that's not what Warner Brothers desperately needs to move forward on that. I still don't see why that had to cancel out Henry Cavill, but there it is. Apparently it played a role in it, but I'm thinking the costs of continuing with the original cast, they wagered, was too risky a thing to do, and they'd be better off starting over. And I guess that's what they're going to do. So anyway, maybe an animated series or films with these guys voicing those roles. That sort of thing may happen. But it's just a shame. And plus, The Rock, I appreciate what he did in trying to get Henry Cavill back and all that sort of stuff. But if it's true that he was against the idea of Black Adam being part of the Shazam films, that's really foolish. He's all gung-ho about Black Adam versus Superman type thing, which fine, but Black Adam is a Shazam character. And it really should have been cultivated out of the Shazam films. And really the Shazam sequel should have been Black Adam. And the Shazam family meets him. They tried to talk him into coming back to be a part of their group and all this sort of stuff, and it's not easy. Dr. Savannah, manipulating him and stuff like that. That would have worked really good. Probably would have been a success. Instead, they're split apart, and Superman still could have had a cameo in that. That missed opportunity there. I think that would have worked better. But it's, what are you going to do? There's a lot of other factors in play there that's not his fault or anybody else involved in this particular film. But, that was a foolish move in that aspect of it. But anyway, it is what it is. And there may be some life left in his version of the character. But since they're talking multiverse already, we already know there's going to be a new Superman and a new Batman, possibly a new Wonder Woman. And so there might have to be a new Black Adam. Maybe that one they'll do where he actually beats the guy. And Levi's saying he's still Shazam. So is that what they would do? Introduce a new Black Adam to his films and it's not Dwayne? I don't know. Well, we'll see. But anyway, that's what I'm guessing. Maybe some animated series and films for Dwayne's version of Black Adam might be in the future.